Yo, what's good everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's video slash story, it's about my homie's mom. Well, my former homie's mom, let's just say that. You'll learn more about that as the story goes on. But this story is unlike anything else I've told on this channel, because I've told so many stories on this channel about old friends of mine, myself, just people I grew up with, doing things that you probably shouldn't do, right? Well, this story is about my old friend's mom and how she did something that no parent or person should do, and how I couldn't believe it. I hope you enjoy this. If you do, leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, let's jump into today's video. So, today's story time all takes place back in the wonderful year of 2016. One of my favorite years on Earth. I have a lot of reasons for that. One, I think the music that came out in 2016, all the music was really good. Two, this was when my YouTube started to explode with popularity, and I was just really stoked on that. And three, a lot of my homies at the time were getting out of high school, they were graduating. My actual class didn't graduate until 2017, but a lot of my other friends got out earlier because they were older than me. But yeah, life was really good. I had no complaints. Things were just going good. I was just making YouTube videos every day, hanging out with my homies, enjoying life, enjoying this newfound YouTube success that I was having. Everything was just great, right? Really no complaints. And back then, I had this friend. We'll call this friend Tyler, okay? Tyler was my best friend at the time. I had known Tyler since 2012, so I always knew Tyler was a real one. I knew that he wasn't like a lot of people back then that just wanted to be my friend because of my YouTube success, and they wanted to get something out of it, like a shout out or some money or something. And I knew Tyler wasn't one of those people because he knew me before I had any of that, right? So Tyler was somebody that I thought I would never really lose as a friend. And it still shocks me to this day that I'm not friends with him anymore, but you'll hear more about it. So yeah, 2016, life's good. Tyler was my best friend at the time, and I was spending a lot of time hanging out with him back then. Pretty much every day I'd hang out with Tyler. At some point, he'd come to my house, or I'd go to his, or he'd pick me up and we'd go drive around. He was just my homie, my best friend back then, right? And I had a really good relationship with Tyler's parents as well. His dad was always super nice to me, super supportive, never had a problem with his mom. His mom was always very nice to me as well. It really just seemed like the perfect family, right? I thought I'd know these people forever. Well, one day in 2016, I woke up like any other day, very late. It was probably about 3 in the afternoon when I woke up. It was very late. Got up out of bed, slowly started my day. Like most days back then, I hit Tyler up after I was done getting ready. And I was like, yo, what's good today? And he was like, not shit, you want to kick it? And I was like, bet. And he came over to my house, picked me up. And then we drove over to this chicken spot, got some food. And after that, we linked up with a couple other friends of mine. Now after that, we hung out for about 3 or 4 hours, just driving around the city doing stuff. We hit a couple stores, did some shopping, got some more food later on in the night, and then we ended up at Tyler's house. We ended up back at his house, just kicking it in his basement, playing some video games. Tyler and my other homie were smoking. We were just hanging out, right? And I ended up hanging out there a lot later than I thought I was gonna. It felt like I was only at Tyler's house for a few hours, but the next thing I knew, I looked down at my phone, and it's midnight, almost 1 a.m., right? And Tyler's starting to get tired and nod off, and he was my ride home. So I was like, yo, could you take me home before you fall asleep? And he's like, bro, I'm so tired. Can you just sleep here? And I didn't really want to sleep over at Tyler's house. Nothing against Tyler, but at that point, I was old enough to the point where I didn't really want to sleep over at anybody's houses. If I could, I'd just go home and sleep in my own bed, right? I just preferred that. But he didn't want to take me home. I didn't really feel like paying for an Uber because he lived kind of far away and it would have costed a shit ton of money. So I decided, you know what? Fuck it, I'll sleep over. At least Tyler had a comfy guest room and would give me a blanket and wouldn't make me sleep, with a couch cushion over me, freezing to death, So yeah, I grabbed some blankets out of the storage closet that he had, and I went upstairs to the guest room and I laid down and I started to just relax and start, drifting off, right? And I was actually extremely surprised how fast I started to fall asleep. Usually if I stay over at somebody's house, dude, it takes me an hour or two to even come close to falling asleep. But within 10 minutes of laying down in this guest room, I started to nod off. And next thing I know, I'm asleep. Well, I didn't know because I was dreaming, but I'm guessing I was asleep within 10 to 20 minutes, right? Now here's where the story gets a little bit weird and messed up, right? So I remember this like it was yesterday because of how fucked up the dream was. But I had a dream while I was sleeping where I was Spider-Man. Yes, I was Spider-Man. And I was swinging through the streets of New York City, just enjoying being a superhero. It was awesome, bro. I was swinging, just going super fast. And then I turned around and there was a bagel, yes, a bagel, a chocolate chip one to be specific, that was flying through the air towards me. And it started shooting lasers at me. This is the shit my brain comes up with while I'm sleeping, dude. Like, there's so many dreams that I remember that I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why did I dream that? And this is just one of them. So yeah, I'm Spider-Man, I'm in New York, there's a bagel chasing me, shooting lasers at me, and I have to defeat it. And I'm in battle with a bagel, right? I don't remember how long it lasted, but it was, a while. But then something really weird happened. In my dream, I heard this noise. It sounded like a cell phone ringtone. It sounded like the default iPhone ringtone. And sometimes when you're dreaming, you'll hear things in the real world, and you'll hear them in your dream, like a part of your dream. That's what was happening. And I had that realization. I realized, oh shit, someone's phone's ringing in real life, and I'm dreaming right now. And as soon as I had that realization that I was dreaming, I instantly woke up. That's always what happens. If I know that I'm dreaming, I'll wake up. There's only been a few times where I know that I'm dreaming and I stay asleep and I'm able to lucid dream. But yeah, I immediately opened my eyes and I was right. Somebody's phone was ringing. I look right in front of me and I see Tyler's mom silencing her cell phone right in front of me. And I can hear her quietly whispering under her breath. She's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. She's trying to silently yell at her phone, right? And she ends up finally shutting it off, right? And she immediately looks at me to see if I'm still sleeping. And I close my eyes really fast, right? Because it was so dark in that room, she didn't see that my eyes were open. And after that, I just pretend to be asleep for a few seconds because I didn't know why she was in there and I didn't really want to talk to her because even though I was cool with her, I didn't really want to have a conversation in the middle of the night with my friend's mom. So I pretend to be asleep and I hear her start rummaging around on the nightstand, right next to the bed where I was sleeping, right next to my head. And I just slowly, very, very tiny bit, open my eyes, right? Just enough to where I can kind of see what she's doing. It was pretty dark, so I could barely see. But she had her phone light on, and she was, illuminating, in front of her so she could see. And I see her pick up my wallet, and then she starts opening it, looking through it. And now I'm laying there thinking, yo, what the fuck is my friend's mom doing right now? What is this? And I have two choices. I either just pretend I'm asleep and keep witnessing what's going on, or I just say something then and there. Now, I still didn't really understand what was going on. I did not think for a second that she was trying to steal from me or something. So I just continued to keep my eyes barely open and pretend I'm sleeping and just look at her and see what she's doing. And she keeps going through my wallet for a little bit, and then she ends up pulling out all of my cash. It was probably $150. I never really keep that much cash on me because I don't need to. And she pulls out the money, and then she goes in and she pulls out one of my cards. She pulls out my debit card, and she proceeds to turn around and walk out of my room. And I'm just laying there yo, did I just get robbed by Tyler's mother? Is that what just happened? Even though I just witnessed what I witnessed, I still didn't believe it. I still thought no, this isn't what I think it is. She probably thought my wallet was Tyler's or something and that Tyler was sleeping in the guest room. That's probably what it was, right? I was just making any excuse I could to not admit what I just saw, right? So I end up just laying there for the next 10 minutes, just thinking about what I just saw, trying to make it make sense in my head, trying to figure out why she would do that, thinking of every possible scenario, right? And a few minutes later, probably about 15 minutes at this point, since she took the money out of my wallet, the door starts to open again really slowly. And I close my eyes really quick, and I hear footsteps come up to the nightstand, and she grabs my wallet real quietly, opens it, and then puts the debit card back in there, but not the cash. And then she turns around and she walks out. So now I'm laying there thinking yo, what the hell just happened? So, at this point, my assumption was she took the money, took the debit card, maybe made a purchase or something, and then kept the cash after she used my debit card or something. So I immediately opened my bank app, right, after she leaves the room, and I checked my bank balance, and there was nothing there. I'm okay, that's good. She didn't use my card. That's, a win. But, she still took my cash. I was still missing probably $150. So I got up, I walked out of the room, I went downstairs. His mom was in the kitchen having a little midnight snack, and she sees me, and she immediately looks like a deer in headlights. She looks scared of me. And I was hey. And she goes, hey, what are you doing up? And I was I had a question. And she was what's up? And I was like, I heard your phone ringing, and I like cracked open my eyes, and I saw you going through my wallet. Did you just take my cash? Like, I swear I saw you take my debit card and some cash, and then you came back in with the debit card, but not the cash. So, like, do you have that money you took? And she immediately goes into, like, pure gaslight mode. And she's like, what? Honey, come on, you're having some crazy dreams. I did not come in there at all. You must have dreamed of someone coming in and taking your money or something. That must be a fear of yours. And at first, I believed her. Because, like, dude, my brain comes up with the most wild dreams in the world. I mean, you just heard about one of them. I was Spider-Man fighting a fucking bagel, dude. Like, I'm aware that my dreams can be crazy, so I thought she might have been telling the truth, and I just dreamed it. So I told her, like, okay, and I immediately turned around, and I went back upstairs, and I went right to that room that I was sleeping in, and I opened my wallet, and I double-checked to see if my cash was still in there. And sure enough, it wasn't. So I marched back downstairs, and I show her. I'm like, look, like, all the money in my wallet is missing. And, like, I swear I didn't imagine it. I saw you come in and take it. Like, are you telling the truth? You didn't take it? And she goes, honey, I didn't take your money. And I was like, okay. And at this point, I didn't really know what to do. Because, like, she's telling me she didn't do it, but my money's missing, and I swear I saw her take it. So I'm just, like, standing there, right, like, thinking about it. And then it hits me. I'm like, wait a minute. I have a way that I can, like, put this to rest. I have a way where I can prove if she did it or not. So I ask her, I'm like, hey, is it cool if I see your phone for a second? And she goes, why? And I was like, just for peace of mind. And she goes, sure, but you won't find anything. And she hands it over to me. And the first thing I do, I go to her missed calls. And sure enough, there was a missed call about 20 minutes ago, which was around the same exact time that I woke up to her phone ringing and her freaking out and silencing it and ignoring the call, right? So that confirmed it. She fucking stole from me. So I showed her the missed call, and I was like, listen, I heard your phone go off, and you silenced your phone. That's what woke me up. And there's the missed call right there, about 20 minutes ago. So start telling the truth. I know you took that cash. And immediately, she starts, like, stuttering and not making sense, and then she just, like, goes upstairs. She just walks upstairs, goes to her room, leaves me there, standing there, just confused, right? And a few minutes later, Tyler comes downstairs, and he's like, yo, what's going on? Like, I heard you talking to my mom, like, sounded like you guys were arguing about something. Like, did something happen? I was like, dude, I don't know, like, how to even say this, but bro, your mom just stole money out of my wallet. And he gets super defensive. He's like, what? No, she didn't. And I was like, dude, she came into my room. I heard her phone go off. It woke me up out of my dream. And then I pretended like I was asleep, and I saw her take money out of my wallet and my debit card. Then she left the room for a little bit, came back, put my debit card back, but not the money. So, like, she still has the money. And he's still getting super defensive. He's like, dude, my mother would never do that shit. Like, stop accusing her of that. You're fucking crazy. Like, he's getting mad. He sounded like he's about to fight me at some point, right? Like, he's pissed. And I was like, you know what, dude? I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling you the truth. You don't want to believe me and you want to believe your mom. I get it. It's your mom. But she stole from me. So, like, that's it. That's all I have to say. And this dude proceeds to shove me into the table of the kitchen. He's like, don't fucking say that again about my mother. And immediately his mom comes barreling down the stairs like, stop it, stop it, stop it. Like, stop it, don't fight. And she, like, splits us up. I wasn't going to swing at him because that was one of my best friends for a long time. Like, unless he was punching me in the face, I would not swing on him. So I didn't plan on fighting to begin with, but it looked like he was gonna, so I see why she came down and broke it up. But she broke it up, and Tyler's still tweaking out. He's like, he tried to accuse you of stealing. Like, that's bullshit. And she's just like, don't worry, calm down. Like, don't worry. I know, it's okay. But this whole time, she wasn't admitting that she stole from me. Still. She was still just, like, you know, deflecting and not saying the truth. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. So I went upstairs, I grabbed my stuff, and I ran back downstairs. I dipped out the front door, and I called an Uber. And about 5 minutes later, the Uber pulled up, and I had a nice long ride with this random Uber driver back to my house. I got dropped off, and for, like, the next few days, everything was just silence. I didn't hear from Tyler, didn't hear from his mom, didn't really hear from anybody that we mutually hung out with as well, because I think Tyler told them that I was, like, lying about his mom or something. And after about 4 or 5 days, I get a phone call from none other than Tyler's mom. I saw it pop up on my phone. I had her as a contact. I answer it. I was like, hello? And she's like, hey, Austin, it's Tyler's mom. Like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. And she's like, so, the other night was just so embarrassing on so many levels. And I'm calling you because I owe you an apology. And I was like, about what? And she goes, I stole from you. I'm not going to make any excuses. I'm not going to lie to you anymore. Tyler told me about all the success you've been seeing these last few months, and I thought you wouldn't notice. and I'm in a tough spot recently, so I resorted to the lowest of low, and I took from you, my own son's friend. That's not okay. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like, still, even this far along, when like all the proof was in my face, I still didn't believe that my best friend's mother could steal from me, dude. Like, it literally broke down every wall of trust that I had for anybody. Like, at this point, I thought everyone was against me. I was so like just dumbfounded at what just happened. So anyway, she apologizes, right? And I'm just like in disbelief. Like, after she says what she says, I'm just quiet. And she goes, "Are you still there?" And I was like, "Yeah. Listen, I appreciate your honesty. You can keep the money. Sounds like you need it, but I just won't be coming over anymore." And she was like, "I'm so sorry. Like, please don't let this affect your relationship with Tyler. Like, you guys have been friends for so long. I don't want this to come between you guys. Like, I'll tell him the truth. I'll let him know it was all my fault, not yours. And then you guys can be friends again." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds good." And I never heard from Tyler again. Literally never again. I hit Tyler up like 2 days later, thinking we could like, pick up where we left off and be cool. He completely blocked me on my phone, blocked me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything, dude. Snapchat, everything. He blocked me. He also had 2 other friends of mine block me, mutual friends. He just got them to block me. Still don't know why. And like 2 months later, I saw Tyler out in public. I saw him at a party, and I tried to like walk up to him and like figure out what the fuck was going on. Like, I wanted to know why he blocked me. And he just ignored me, like, to my face. I went up to him and I was like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And he looked at me and just didn't say a word. So awkward. I was like, "Yo, like, can you talk?" He wouldn't say anything. So I just walk away because he just kept staring at me without saying anything. I even tried making like another social media account. I made another Instagram and I DM'd him and I was like, "Yo, dude, like, your mom called me and admitted to everything and she said she was going to tell you about it. Like, did she tell you?" Left me on red. Didn't reply. So I just have not heard from him since this happened. If I had to guess, his mother probably never told him the truth. That's my guess. His mom never told him that she stole from me, and he still thinks to this day that I lied and accused her of something she didn't do, and he doesn't want to be friends with me. Or maybe she did tell him, and he was just so embarrassed that he didn't want to have me around anymore. I don't know, dude. It blows my mind to this day. It's like one of those stories where like I don't have all the answers like I do at the end. Like most of my stories, there's a conclusion. This didn't really have a conclusion, and it's still like an open book to this day. And I still see him around sometimes. Like literally a year ago, I saw him at a party at a friend's house that we both knew, and the dude just didn't acknowledge me. It was so weird. So yeah, moral of the story is don't steal from people. That's not cool. And if you have a problem with somebody, you should probably just talk it out and not ignore them for years. That's not good to do either, and it's not healthy to hold a grudge that long. But yeah, guys, that's the end of it. That's the story of my friend's mom stealing from me and me losing a friend because of it. In the end, I really, really respect the fact that she apologized because that takes guts. But also, I learned a lot of valuable, eye-opening lessons, that day about trust and how I can't just trust everybody. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. Definitely a pretty wild one. I'll let you guys know if Tyler ever hits me up again. Maybe there'll be a conclusion one day, but I don't really have high hopes. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the story time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys all later. Peace.
I can see it today. I remember all my friends and now I'm all that remains. I got some bad news. Gotta go, I can't stay. Yeah, this place I call the home is slowly falling.